All right, welcome back to the channel. Max Tornow here. Second lockdown, second quarantine is coming. In some countries, it has already been implemented. If you're worried about that, if you have troubles with your current job about that, if you think, hey, there might be some opportunities, if that is you, then this video might be able to help you. So let's talk about that.
Have you ever wondered whether there's more to life than a meaningless, dead-end 9-to-5 job? Have you ever dreamed about breaking free, traveling the world, making good money while not having to worry that you could get fired? My name is Max Tornow, and I've attained that freedom and I've attained that security. No more office dress code, no morning commute, no boss. This channel is for you, so here's to your freedom.
Okay, so right now, many countries are in a situation that they were in March, April of 2020 already, meaning many smaller businesses are going to be closed down, many public places are going to close down, traveling is going to be closed down to a degree, and more people are going to spend their time at home. Right? Maybe you might be someone that has to spend their time at home, maybe at a home office kind of deal, or you're not even able to go to work. Either way, you're sitting at home with a reasonable amount of spare time because all the outside activities are just cut out. That means the following. You can do two things now. You can sit at home, worry and wait, the two W's, the worry and the wait, and basically come out of the lockdown a couple months later with no significant progress made in your life, maybe even step back because you feel less momentum, you feel less awake, and so on and so forth. Or you do the other thing, you focus on the opportunity that presents itself now with that second lockdown, with that second quarantine. And maybe if you've been watching me for a while, I made a very similar video about that when the first quarantine happened. And that video was called, I can't remember the exact title, it was, I think, Quarantine, use it to build your own business. And as I did that, many people actually came from that video. They contacted us, they jumped on free consulting call with us. We either consulted them for free or they even decided to become our long-term clients. And lo and behold, more and more people started executing what we said and had literally from there built their own freedom businesses. We have some people, maybe we can show some testimonials here from people that have started during the quarantine, during the lockdown. We have people that literally lost their jobs, came to us because they realized, hey, jobs are not safe anymore. I want to take advantage of this opportunity now that I realize that jobs are far less safe than being self-employed. I want to start becoming self-employed. And now these people have their own freedom businesses up and running. Many of them have actually left their countries that had very difficult restrictions went to other countries where it's easier, much more comfortable to live. They have a much higher and much more secure income. And now they're living life on a much higher quality than the counterparts that have to spend their time at home, being stuck in some sort of home office situation, or even worse, being stuck without work. So that first point that I want to mention here is, please be aware of the huge opportunity that is out there, right? Number one. Number two, are aware that there's people out there who've done it already before you, and you want to ask yourself whether or not you want to miss out, and what are the things that are holding you back. And I think in a more macro sense, I really want to re-emphasize how little safety there actually is in a 9-to-5 job nowadays. And I get it. We still kind of have the mindset of like, oh, go to school and get a proper safe jobs. Maybe we've been told that by our parents, our grandparents, by previous generations. The mainstream narrative, of course, says the same. Oh, being self-employed is so risky, and building a business, you need to be lucky and need to have a degree and all that. All this is thinking that is 30, 40 years old. This is not the case anymore. Many of my clients that don't have a business degree, I don't even think, do we have anybody with a business degree? I don't think so. They don't have a degree in what they're coaching. They don't always have years of experience in that. That's not necessary anymore. They get started, they get their first test clients, they get better with time, and this is something that we help them with. Is there a lot of risk involved if you build your own business nowadays? Very, very little risk, because you're not venturing out there and have to start sourcing physical products, and then you're sitting on a lot of costs or anything. If you have an online coaching or online service providing business that we're specialized in, what is the risk? If you really think about it, what is it? You don't have any costs. The only cost is your own personal time. You invest that in the beginning, and then you can build a business from there. You have very little risk if you especially have a proven path. We've been working with hundreds of clients nowadays that literally have made that jump into becoming self-employed. They were able to quit their jobs and so on and so forth. So it's not like you have to sit and ponder what your next moves are going to be. You simply follow the instructions that we give you that have been tested hundreds of times over and over again. And ultimately, what you have to realize is you're sitting at home and you have all this time on your hands anyways. And either you're sitting at home with a lot of spare time, which means get off the Netflix, stop watching TV, stop being fed the fear-mongering mainstream media. Use that time to work on yourself. Use that time to invest in yourself. Get out of that quarantine as a new person, as a better person, as a smarter person, as a more self-actualized person. Hell, if you don't want to start a new business, why are you watching this channel? But even if you really do not want to start a business, then go read a book, learn a new language, any skill. Come out of that quarantine better, smarter, fitter, if you will, whatever it is. Don't come out of this quarantine with a lot of negative momentum, stagnant momentum, being lazy, having really not worked on yourself. This is the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity now. Well, I hope it's going to remain the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I hope there's not going to be another lockdown, but you see what I'm trying to say here. Or you're sitting at home and you're investing a lot of time in your job. Now, here's the thing with that. This is the most important point when it comes to comparing the job time that you're working on that and time that you would work on your own business. The important part here is with a job, you basically invest the time that you have and you get the money back, right? So you're literally exchanging your time for money. And you can do that for 30 years and you will always get that time that you spend, an equivalent of that in money back. But when you build a business, it has a stacking effect, right? You're not just going to spend your time and get that equal amount of money back. No. Because what you're doing is you build a system. With a business, you're slowly but steadily building a system. It's almost like you're building an engine, and then that engine, once it's built, it runs itself. All you have to do is you fuel it a little bit, right? So while you invest 40 hours a week in a job, you could do that for years and then you quit and that's it. You haven't built anything. Or you invest 40 hours a week in a freedom business. After a year or two, you can almost completely remove yourself from that. We have many advanced clients now doing that. They're making 40, 50, 60K a month, removing themselves more and more from that engine because the engine runs itself, right? You're going to invest 40 hours a week either way. Might as well invest it in something that builds your life up that you can then remove yourself from, right? And even if you do have a 40 hours a week job, you can still work on your business 2 hours a day, an hour a day, 30 minutes a day until you have built that business that then makes you more income than the income at your job, and then you can quit your job. We have many, many clients who literally have started their own businesses while next to their full-time job. And also here, the whole home office quarantine thing helped them because they said, okay, I don't commute anymore, right? Maybe you had to commute an hour a day. Now, because you're working at home, that hour a day comes back at you. Invest that hour a day to build your own business, for example, right? So you have 5 hours a week during the work week. You add another hour on Saturday, Sunday. You have 7 hours a week that you can now build your own business. Maybe be a little bit slow, but ultimately slow and steady wins the race. And you could already start your own business. Like I said, many people that have watched the first video in March, April have done that. And now, second lockdown, they're ready. They have built their own business. It can go that fast if you have a proper procedure, structure, proper mentors that can give you feedback and so on and so forth. It is actually much simpler and easier than you think. Now, if you want to dive a little bit deeper on that, feel free to check out our podcast. My business partner, Nikita Gunkiewicz, and myself have a very informative podcast where we go much deeper on this. YouTube is always a little bit surface level in terms of the content. In the podcast, we share a little bit more we're going to share the link down below. We're going to show the link for the podcast as well. Highly recommend you checking it out. It's also very entertaining. We're ranting often there. Nikita and we have a very great dynamic, so I strongly recommend you check that out. So at the end of the day, to summarize, number one, jobs are much, much less safe. Millions more people are going to lose their jobs. I've said it before. I've said it in 2018 already. Then it happened. On one front, you have AI automation, technology taking away more and more jobs every year. On the other hand, now you have all these small businesses shutting down because they're localized, they're not online. So all the employees will all lose their jobs. Big businesses, airlines, automobile factories, any type of business that has anything to do with anything offline is suffering, laying off their employees left and right. Jobs are far, far less safe than they have been, and they will be less and less safe. I've made an extra video on that as well. Feel free to check that out. And so you have to realize jobs are far less safe. If you want to stay secure and safe, especially in times like these where governments are coming in, shutting down things, then the only way to do that is by being your own boss, being self-employed and having your own business that is online. As long as the internet runs, as long as we have electricity, you will be safe. Right? You have to realize that. If they do ever shut down the internet or electricity, we'll have far bigger problems anyway. But that's an important point for you to realize. The other point is you have a lot of time on your hands now, whether you're working from home and you don't commute anymore, you save that time, use it to build your own business. Or you're forced vacationing, right? Meaning you cannot go to work, you have even more time on your hands. Use that to build your own business. Stay positive. Please stay positive and see the opportunity. And I've said this before in many posts when the first lockdown happened. Responsibility, positivity, and opportunity. Responsibility means take over responsibility of your life. The government ain't gonna bail you out with the $1,200 stimulus check. Mom and dad are not gonna bail you out. This is your life. Take over responsibility, especially in lockdown time. This is where the winners are gonna be separated from the losers. Are you going to feel sorry for yourself and fall into victim mentality, stay at home, binge watch Netflix, and eat Ben & Jerry's ice cream? Don't do that. Take over responsibility for yourself, put yourself under a nice daily schedule, set things up, set yourself a goal, use it to build your own business. Positivity, stay positive. There's a lot of winners out there in this crisis as well. Everybody's talking about the losers, right? The fear-mongering media is going to try to feed you even more. Losers, everything is going down, everything is going down. It is for many people, but there's also winners out there, right? If I look at some of the clients, especially in niches like fitness, online fitness, anything where you can teach people how to stay fit at home. I mean, these people literally March, April, May, those have been the best months for these clients. We've had clients making $19K a month. We can show some of that testimonial as well. I think it was $19K or something like that. It works. There's winners and there's losers out there. The winners stay positive and therefore they're able to work harder. The losers feel bad for themselves and they get out of this quarantine with, zero work that they've done on themselves, zero results. Right? And last but not least, see the opportunity. Like I said, there's winners and there's losers out there. There's huge opportunity out there. This is an opportunity. If you're forced to stay at home, locked down, quarantined, use that opportunity to work on yourself, to build your own business. And the best way to get started with your own business is you book a free consulting call with us. There's a link down in the description below. And you can use that link to book your free consulting call with us. Like I said, the call is for free. Like I also said, it will be a real life call, all right, with a real person, not a bot funnel or anything like that. You'll be patched in directly to the expert who's then going to talk to you. We're going to look at your situation. We're going to look at where you want to go. We're going to tell you the exact steps you can take in your specific situation in order to get started with your own small freedom business as an online coach or as an online service provider. Like I said, we have many beginner clients making 10K a month. We have advanced clients making up to 100K a month. It works. It might be not the flashiest procedure. It might be a little bit boring at some point. At least it works. So there's a link down in the description below. You click that, it brings you to a page. You can read through the page a little bit more. There's some more information at the bottom of that page. If you scroll down all the way, there's an application form. It takes you 2 minutes to fill it out, and then you can book the exact date and time for your free consulting call. So let's talk very, very soon. Thank you very much for listening and watching. I appreciate you, and bye-bye.
Quick thank you video from my side. So far 4.5K in closes. Really, I'm thankful for the team who helped me out to position me in the market, because before I didn't know what I need to do. I didn't actually know what kind of skills I have, but now I turned my hobby into the business and I really love it. I can't wait to get more and more clients. So really, really happy about that. So yeah, thank you team. Thank you